Gujarat Titans have been eliminated from the eliminator of the IPL 2025 season. It is the Mumbai Indians that get qualified to the qualifiers too. So, Maitreya, welcome to the Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast. This is Chirunandan Srinath, your host for this week. We do not have Vijay Lokapalli sir and Rakesh Rao joining us for this episode. And this is the 90th episode of the Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast. We are excited entering into this 90s. And yep, the Gujarat Titans have lost it, and the Mumbai Indians are into the qualifiers too. I do not know what happens to this Mumbai Indians franchise when it comes to games like these. Their entire team performs like until last game. You never saw Tilak Verma throwing his hat and saying I can bat this season. He has had a poor run, and then you've seen Rohit Sharma hitting. He has not had an impressive season for the past few years. He hasn't played so well, but yeah, Rohit Sharma has reached 7,000 IPL runs. He has also scored. He is also is the first Indian to hit 300 IPL sixes. So Maitreya, Mumbai Indians and qualifiers too with Punjab Kings. That's what we expected, right?
Yes, so I think yesterday we were predicting and we already gave GT out, yesterday, but GT, didn't give up very easily. They gave a very tough fight actually, and it was expected. Mumbai Indians, we know once they enter the playoffs, they will do their best, and this team is like on a rampage to go to the trophy. So we have seen that spirit, coming to their batting or their bowling. Both the sides they have shown the spirit, of fighting till the end. Like Rohit Sharma is leading from the front, and for us all, the Indian cricket team fans, it was a joy seeing Rohit Sharma bat like that. And then, as you have said, Tilak Verma, who wasn't performing so well, performed really well today. And then we saw Surya Kumar, for the 15th time he has hit, a 25 plus score consecutive. So it's a 15th consecutive time he has hit that. So consistent performances by Surya Kumar. He's also in the top five in the orange cap leadership. And then Hardik Pandya, handy cameo, 22 of 9. And I think it all went down to, the last over, last over, if I'm not wrong, I think three sixes were hit in the last over.
Yeah,
And
Hardik Pandya.
yes, Hardik Pandya hit those three sixes. So that is where it all came down to. Because if you see, by the end of the 19th over, when GT were 205 for 205 and Mumbai were 206. So it was just one run difference if you go head to head at the same over. So I think the last over, those sixes by Hardik Pandya, I think that mattered in the end because you saw how the game went close. If you see the scorecard overall, it will be written Mumbai won by 20 runs. But if you see the match live, only then you would know that the last over 24 runs were required, and it all went down to the wire actually. So you should understand. So each one's contribution, however small it may look like on the scorecard, it mattered in the end. And as you have said, I think Mumbai gave an all-round performance, and they are on a rampage, and they're going to meet Punjab next. So that will be really interesting.
Yeah, well, who made the most contribution if you ask me? It is Jasprit Bumrah, man. He's again showed his superpowers to the world. The Yorkers that he nailed, he got Washington Sundar out, and after that the next two overs he bowled. I think that was the the stop or the the dam to stop the control of the runs. I mean, Washington Sundar and Sai Sudarshan, they had a very good partnership. Sudarshan was on 80 of 49. Washington Sundar was 48 when he was bowled by Bumrah, and then Sudarshan was taken out by Gleason later. But talk about this, Bumrah, any format, any situation, you need a wicket. There's one name to call, and just one name away from getting a wicket from winning. How many times have we seen Bumrah doing this? We have seen this in the T20 World Cup final last year, and then we see in many international games, many IPL franchise games, many national games. Bumrah is one constant. He can be called at any situation. Power play, you want wickets, he'll get you wickets right up front, and in death overs, you want wickets and control or and stop the flow of runs, he'll do that. And his Yorkers, His accuracy, I think, is the best bowler in the world, and there's no doubt about that. Is very accurate, and Jasprit Bumrah is a pain in the neck for the opposition. So, Maitreya, Bumrah is class today. He reminded us again who he is actually. So, yeah, talk about Bumrah.
Yeah, so as they say in this current generation, Bumrah is the best bowler across all formats, and today I think he showed us that because if you look at the scorecard at that point of time, Sai Sudarshan and Washington Sundar were on a awesome partnership, and if they would have continued 2-3 more overs, I think it would have gone GT's way because that's how small the gap was, and he got the wicket at the right time because all bowlers. Hardik Pandya changed almost 4 to 5 bowlers, and it was not clicking at all. They were hitting even Trent Bolt, who's supposed to be the experienced guy there. So you should understand, and there was a lot of dew also if you've seen the match. So the lot of dew was there, and that obviously helps a batsman. So in such kind of conditions, it's a batting pitch. There is dew. All conditions are favoring the team which is batting at that point of time, and then you get in Bumrah. The captain places the faith in him, and the team, everyone is dependent on him, and he came and performed because it was almost 150 for 2 at that time, and they were in the 14th over. Bumrah came to bowl, and he took the wicket of Washington Sundar. And Sundar, he was hitting 48 of 24, when he became out. So 200 strike rate, 3 sixes, 5 fours. He was giving a proper solid partner. He was for Sai Sudarshan, and Sai Sudarshan was at another level. So both of them, if they would have continued a little more longer, GT would have won the match. So Bumrah came in, and if you see Bumrah's economy rate, it is just 6.75. Everyone else, the next guy is 8, and that is Ashwani Kumar, who bowled 3.3 overs. So if you see among them all, Bumrah has the best economy rate, and in such a high scoring match, above 200 it is, and Bumrah is just 6.75. So you should just understand what kind of a bowler Bumrah is in such situations. He's an X factor for Mumbai Indians, I guess. So Bumrah is like how Hazelwood is for RCB, I guess. Bumrah is like that for Mumbai. So both are very vital for the team's bowling units to succeed, and I think that's how Bumrah showed us that, as you said, the class bowler he is. And today we got to see that side of him again.
Yeah, and since you already mentioned about Washington Sundar and Sai Sudarshan, uh, I mean, no words to describe Sai Sudarshan's form. He's been electrifying. He's really been very, very consistent. Seeing his form, I'm reminded of Virat Kohli's 2016. Well, he's not scored 900 runs, but if you see his form, the way he's played, very confident in his shots. He always hits in the gaps. His timings are always late, but the ball is always under his eyes. So I think Sai Sudarshan is a very a natural talent, and I'm sure in the coming years he'll be one of the greatest players that our Indian team will ever produce. Uh, Hopefully he continues this form into the coming years. And then Washington Sundar, well, you call him an all-rounder, but I don't see him actually as a T20 batter who could bat a 200 strike rate, hitting 48 of 24, and hit Trent bowled for 464 and all that stuff in 1 over. I think that was crazy from Washington Sundar. The when I saw that six from Washington Sundar over the mid wicket from off Trent bowled, I was reminded of him hitting a six. If you remember, he played a pull shot to Pat Cummins in the Gaba test. So I was reminded only of that thing. So Washington Sundar, wonderful role he played because they didn't have the services of because GT didn't have the services of Butler here. Kusal Mendes came in for him, and he was trying and he was looking to fill in the role. He got 20 of 10. He didn't keep wickets well, but he was scoring runs later in the second innings. But unluckily, he got hit wicket. And then Rahul Tewatia, well, he has hardly batted 10 balls in the entire season. Okay, you look at the stats, and then he was looking confident. Like if you see the six he hit of Bumrah, he just moved on to the leg side and hit. But then by the time you know game was done and dusted, so you had nothing else to pluck. You didn't have a win to pluck from anywhere. So I think it went down. in the game finished around 17th or an 18th over. And due credits to even Ashwani Kumar to bowl Yorkers in that 17th over. He stuck to his strengths, and I think that was good. So yeah, talk about. Uh, I do not know. I've just given a very broad match summary. Yeah, you pick whatever you want to talk about and just talk about it, Matre.
Yes, so I think Ashwani Kumar, as I've said, he bowled really well because if you see after Bumrah, the next best bowler according to the economy rate is Ashwani Kumar with just 8. So he also had big shoes to fill because he came and bowled the last over. If you see, 3 balls were left and Gleason was having a cramp or something like that, a small injury kind of. So Ashwani Kumar was gotten into bowl. It was an easy situation that he got just 21 required of 3 balls, but anyone can go wrong in such situations also. Maybe a wide that would have gone for a 4, then the situation would have totally changed. So bowling those 3 legal deliveries properly, and he got a wicket at that moment also. So I think Ashwani Kumar did a great job. And then I felt actually the whole game, it was actually equally contested because head to head, if you see everything, they were almost near each other, Mumbai and GT. And I felt the whole match went down till the last over or maybe the last second over because I think after that Bumrah's over, I think everyone got to know that it's going to be really tough for them. But again, Tewatia was there, and Tewatia he may not be performing consistently, but we know him like around 3-4 years back. He has been known for giving those late finishes and that Rinku Singh type of finishes he used to give even before Rinku Singh was there in IPL. So Tewatia was a danger name, but today he didn't perform that well, up to his standard. So in the end, it's written. I guess Mumbai Indians, they fought for it, they got it. From where they were at the bottom of the table at one point of the IPL, they've come now to the qualifier two, and just one step away from finals. They have Punjab, and Punjab is also very determined to go to the finals and get their revenge on RCB. So now it's between Punjab and Mumbai to reach the finals, and I think it's now whoever plays that day, that conditions, whatever clicks for them, a little bit of luck because both teams are really strong, and whatever happens, whoever wins that day, they go to the finals with RCB, and that will be the blockbuster end to this season. So hopefully, you know, I don't know whom to choose because Mumbai Indians, I feel all the 5 cups they have won enough for them. One kind of, my perspective is like that. But again, Mumbai Indians have played really well and they also deserve, sometimes it may be a fresh people, Hardik Pandya leading this time because 5 cups under Rohit, this time Hardik Pandya is leading and a lot of experience there. But again, I feel Punjab, they have never won an IPL and Shreyas Iyer as a captain is doing brilliantly, so Shreyas Iyer should get the due, credit to go to the finals. Again, in the end, that day who performs well, the conditions, the luck, everything matters. So yeah,
Yeah, well, Maitre, don't say that. Mumbai Indians is just one step away from the finals because we do not want Mumbai Indians clearly in the finals. We want Punjab Kings to come because Mumbai Indians on any day they are scary for any franchise, and that too in the finals. We know what they can do, what they're capable of. And well, because you mentioned about Jasprit Bumrah and his brilliance that in that 18th, 19th over, because after he bowled that over, it was written that Mumbai Indians would win, but there were few chances that it could go GT's way. I mean, it was quite impossible, but our friends at the cricket podcast they already started off a live stream, and I see the title MI win, so I was like, wow, that is the confidence that they have in Bumrah. Like after the Bumrah's over, they know that it's just gone MI's way. So I just wanted to mention about that one. And yeah, let's go back to the first innings. Rohit Sharma was dropped twice in the first 2 overs, and then I mean, the first few overs they were, GT dropped 3 sitters, and that's what Shubman Gill says. The last 3 or 4 overs didn't go our way. He meant that last second innings. I mean the second innings, but also the power play where they dropped 3 sitters. So not, and it's not easy for bowlers to control from there also. So yeah, talk about that. Luck plays hard. You drop Rohit Sharma on any day, he's not going to say you dropped me. You drop him, he's going to be Rohit Sharma after all. So yeah, talk about that.
Yeah,
And
as they
also
say.
one more thing to add. Gujarat Titans have the worst. I mean, they have the most dropped catch rates this season of IPL. So their fielding has been below par.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mitra.
so as you know, the famous saying goes, catches win matches. So each catch is important because Rohit Sharma, the kind of start he gave, 81 of 50. Rohit Sharma any day is dangerous, and if he gets a lifeline, Rohit Sharma will become a monster. And today we have seen that because Rohit Sharma is a very experienced player, and it may take time for him to adjust. But once he's set in, if he's set in, either you get him out early on, but if he's set in, it's really impossible to stop him. So that they have seen today. And normally any team with the most drop catches or anything will not make it to the playoffs, because in a game like T20, it is really important. Each wicket is important, each run you save is important, and fielding also plays a very major role, because each game, some many games are lost by the least amount of runs, 1 run difference, 2 cups Mumbai won like that. So they will know how important fielding is. So I think GT has to work on that, because fielding, as I've said, 3 catches they dropped today. I think that's really bad, because uh, just imagine 3 wickets they would have got early on. The match would have been on a totally different route, because Rohit Sharma wouldn't have batted those many balls, and everything would have crumbled in the power play itself, and it would have gone GT's way, and it would have been much better. Because just imagine, MI would have got just 20 runs below what, like 208 GT hit. Think MI would have, because of those 3 wickets, MI would have struggled to get to 200 maximum. It would have been a cakewalk for GT then, if they had continued the same way they played, batting wise. So it matters, because each catch, at least I think 10-15 runs they would have saved like that. So in the end, it was loss for GT, and I think GT is actually a successful team, because I think this is their fourth IPL they're playing, and already they have you already won a title. They have been once runner up, and already now again they have come to the qualifiers. So I think it's already a successful team, and I'm sure they will work back and come stronger next year. So these are some points that they will have to look upon. But overall, I think Mumbai outplayed them, because everyone expected them, and Mumbai, has that experience also. If you look at the GT batting lineup, I think Washington Sundar, he played more than what we expected, because the kind of experience he has, we didn't expect him to play, that well also. And other players, they have not been performing that well in these present situations, because they haven't had the experience to play, these many qualifier matches, like the players of Mumbai have. So I think that experience in the end helped Mumbai, uh, win the match today, and that's how the result goes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this brings you to the end of today's episode. Thank you, Maitra, for coming. This is a very short and sweet episode, but yeah, this is it for today. Mumbai Indians qualify for the qualifiers too, and they will meet Punjab Kings on Sunday. So, Maitra, thanks for coming. I know it's a very late night episode, and in fact, it's gone into the next day as well. Will be we recorded this episode right after the match concluded, and it will be published right now. So, yeah, Maitra, thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's always enjoyable, because just the match is over right now, and immediately you take an episode. I think the whole momentum, just continues there, and we are able to, get on into a more better analysis of the match, because we have just seen it right now, and it's much easier to discuss it right now. So always a pleasure, to have this late night kind of episodes, because it's really interesting and fun for us also.
Yeah, and because they're one more thing is because they are very raw and unscripted. Like we do not have any questions in previously in mind, and it just comes out. And though the voice trembles, though there are so many stammering words, but the emotions are pure. So yeah, passion for cricket. I think that is it. Thanks, Maitra, for coming, and this will bring you to the end of the 90th episode of the Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast.